Hey everyone, welcome back to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay, so grab a brush, grab some models, grab some paints, and paint along with me. Let's rid our world of unpainted models. Yes, I'm done my AdMech, at least temporarily, because I know in my heart of hearts that GW is going to release some new AdMech models in like the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to have to buy them. Yep. I think I'm going to have to. That's okay. So right now I have started my another new army, Genestealer Cult. I've been really excited to paint these guys, and we're even ordered some more models. I'm just waiting for them to come in. I know I'm in the home stretch, so I can buy a few more. Really flesh out these armies and paint them all in one fell swoop. And yeah, so I'll be painting some neophyte hybrids today. Neophytes, yeah, neophytes. 40 of them. I actually ordered another 10 more, but I haven't gotten them yet. So 40 neophyte hybrids. And I'm painting my army using contrast paints. I really do want to give these contrast paints a really nice fair shake and a fair trial. And I think Genestealer Cult is going to be a really fun army to paint with them. And so, yeah, I'll be talking about that today as well. So, as always, huge shout out to Cody Rue and Adam. You missed a spot. Hey everyone, so yes, today I'll be working on some Genestealer Cult neophytes. Here we go, they're on their way, as you can see here. So far I've painted, I started off with the Administratum Gray, I believe it's called, Basilicanum Gray. So skin tones, and like these guys are a combination of the purple and the flesh tones, and I did a quick highlight of the skin, just to make it really pop. Other than that, I'm pretty much using just straight contrast paints. The only difference, I will be using true metallics. I'm not going to use the black Templar for non-metallic. I'm not a big fan of it. I tried it on some other models earlier, and I'm going to repaint them using metallics. So today, as you can see, I'm painting them up in what's called the Cult of the Rusted Claw, I believe it's called. It's the orange cloth army. I'll talk about why I did that in a second. But yeah, let's get started on them. So as you can see, these guys are a few steps further. I did some guys' pants all orange. Some guys' pants will be blue. Just a combination of them. As you can see, this one's pants are blue. And I primed them white, which is something that I really have to get used to. I don't usually prime white. The only army I prime white is my Tyranids. And I prime them white because I quickly shade them and build up whites on them, but that's okay. I'm not I don't usually paint white, so it's weird having these unpainted white parts to me. I don't usually paint white. I usually paint prime gray or black, but it's all cool. So I'm just gonna figure out where I have 40 guys in front of me, and I just have to figure out which was the last one I painted. I should have separated. There we go. So this guy still has to be painted. So we're going to start off with the pants. Now for the pants, I'm painting, I'm using, where is it? A Kellen Green. So the new contrast paints. And so far, I think I've been really enjoying these contrast paints. I've highlighted in a few steps, right? I definitely have. But it's cool. Just take it directly from the paint pot, grab my brush here and just move the pigments around. It's been a lot of fun to paint using these contrast paints, and it's been a fun test to see if I think it saves me time. I really do think so, because I'm only doing one coat. It tends to go on pretty easily and nice. The pigments are nice and dark for most of the ones I got, and I like it so far. I've only spent about a couple hours on these guys total, including priming and painting. So not too bad so far. As you can see, I got a few colors on, and now the thing is about these models is they're using contrast paints has been nice and simple and saving time, but these are not single colored models. They're not like a Space Marine, where you could just do a huge, they have a huge surface area of one color, and then you highlight up the shoulder pad trim, So it's really evident when you miss a spot, like Adam does. But because then, as I said, with the white primer, you really notice where the it doesn't fit, because if you miss a spot, it's all of a sudden white in the recesses, which doesn't make any sense. If you prime gray or black, you can kind of get away with it in some cases, because if you miss a spot in the deep recesses, it just looks like a heavily shadowed area. But not in this case. So that's okay. But as you can see here, it doesn't take very long to get this one color done. And then of course I'm going to let this dry, but the great thing of it is I'm batch painting 40 models right now. So I'm not really caring, because by the time I get back to this guy, he's definitely going to be all dry. And this is good. This video is going to be a good gauge, because I'm going to paint for about an hour as I normally do my painting with J's. And I'm going to see how many colors or how far I can get with my painting today. But yeah, as I said, I've been enjoying these contrast paints so far. Over my overall experience has been good. I just wanted to try one army with contrast paints. I usually paint up to what I call like a tabletop standard, or a higher tabletop standard. I usually, with each color, a base coat, highlight, some shades. But this is a horde army, and as you know, I like really playing horde armies most of the time. Most of my armies are horde armies. I just finished painting Admech, and I painted up a lot of guys for there, so I figured, you know what, these contrast paints are really designed for someone who really wants to paint a lot of models in a short period of time. And I'm not rushing this army. I don't mean to rush it and give it a lack of respect, because this is actually one of the armies I've been excited. This has been the treat army. This is the army I've been treating myself with. Why I haven't painted it yet was I've been holding it off because I didn't get to paint this until I'm done my Admech. Then after this army, I probably have like maybe 10 Grey Knight models left to paint. I think I found some the other day that I'm probably just going to paint up Grey models, Grey Knights. But, that's it. It's been I love the look of these models. They're not the most competitive army, I know, but whatever. I will run, probably some genestealer cult armies and some Forces of the Hive Mind armies, as they're called. But they look so cool, and they have such an interesting backstory to me, so I really wanted to collect them. I bought the, like 3 Christmases ago, I bought that Battle Force. I got it for a good price, and so that's a great starting point for this army. It came with an Acolyte, a Neophyte, a Brood Brothers, the Brood Coven, which is basically a Brood Lord, and 2 other HQs and their little sidekicks, and a vehicle. So it's a great starting point, and I've bought one start collecting since. What else do I have? And I'm going to order as I said, I've ordered another start collecting kit as well. The thing is with these guys is I have tons of models already, like these 40, except then you realize how many points they are actually worth. Like my 40 Acolyte warriors that I'm painting right now are probably going to be worth, the way that I run them, about 260 points. So not a whole lot of points, as you can see. Well, look at that. Looking awesome so far. I'll put some there too. But the pants, oh, that's a great color for the pants. That really works. I love it. Just clean off my brush. I do randomly clean off my brush after every few models. I just don't want this to really dry on the ferrule of the brush. That's okay. So, yeah, next guy. Here we go. So I don't have a lot of points. I have tons of models, but it doesn't add up to a lot of points. I think right now I can barely catch 2,000 points if I really wanted to, I could probably do 2,000 points. So I figured I might as well order some more, another star collecting set, which I did, to just get even more troops. I really, actually, I like the star collecting sets. It would have been amazing if they had the rock grinder, like it should have. In the codex. In the codex, it shows what the star collecting battle box set would have been, but they changed it slightly. They put a different vehicle. Instead of the heavy support vehicle, they put the fast attack vehicle in the box. But as you can see, like it's fun. These paints are fun. They go on really easily. You just move the pigments around. You kind of, after dealing with them for a few hours in a row, you really do get to know the nature of these things. How they settle, how they act. It's been a lot of fun. I really do like them. And I think they're saving me time with my army. I think they are. And it's going to be cool. Now I'm going to paint the vehicles, and I'm debating right now. I haven't decided yet about the HQs. I might paint the HQs to a slightly higher standard. I might not. I might try one of the, what they're called, the one of the, basically the Broodlords with contrast paint, one of them normally, and see, and compare and contrast them, no pun intended. But we'll see. We'll see. But it's been a very easy process. Yeah, I will clean up at the end. Like as you can see, I got a little orange. They do bleed on each other sometimes. It's very easy for them to bleed. So I'll clean up them at the end, and just take some white to clean up each color that bleeds over, and then repaint that part. But that'll only take a few minutes per model, I'm guessing. It won't be too complicated of a process. And I'm figuring out what color, like the order of colors, which is very important, I find, with these ones, because if you're going to let them bleed, go lighter to darker, obviously, which is what I'm typically doing. I'm doing black last, because the pigments are pretty good. They're pretty heavy in these. So as I said, then after this, I'm just going to paint the gloves and the boots black, using the black Templar paint. And then I'm going to paint true metallic silver on the guns and knives, and go from there. Okay. So there we go. Now, yeah, so I'll paint the silvers and the bronze with actual metallics. I tried the non-metallics a while ago, and not a fan of them. No, not a fan of them overall. That's okay. I get it, they're designed to be painted fast. I just don't like the look. Unless you want to then do like a dry brush of a light gray on top of them, kind of bring out the edges, but whatever. So this has been a lot of fun. I've used these paints for a bit. I did a series of videos a while ago on them, but this is my test to actually, paint a whole army, to sit down with these paints. The other thing that's actually really surprised me is, again, they're very thin, and I remind myself that. They're very thin paints, but they last. They really last. Like again, you see how much orange on each model. So I've painted 40 plus another
10 or 12 models before this with the orange on them, and I still have 3/4 of a paint pot. I was worried originally when GW stopped selling stuff, because I was like, oh no, this is when I want to get all my painting done. Hopefully I don't run out of colors. And there are a couple of shops that still sell the colors that I need and want, but still, it's been really cool knowing that I'm not running out of colors anytime soon. You know, my goal is just don't knock over the paint pots, which I've done several times in the past. Yeah, don't knock over the paint pots. There we go. This guy's pants, the paints on the pants. The paint pants. Yeah, I'm really enjoying them. Again, it's not bad. Like, this is I'm not going to win best painted at a tournament for these guys, but I'm going to get them done with a decent amount of time. They're going to still look okay. They're still going to be tabletop worthy. Like, I'd still go on battle report with these guys. And in the end, it's been fun. I know the goal of a painter is to improve over time, but I think these are kind of a fun cop-out. Not really a cop-out, I'm saying, you know what I mean, but they're fun. They're fun to use, and they're easy, and you get used to them pretty fast. And the priming white, to me, was the weirdest part of this process. It just has a weird feeling to me. Like, when I see this model, all the white makes me feel like it's so much more unfinished than it is. But and that's cool. It identifies the areas that need painting very easily, and then you bring them to life. But look at that. What else? I need more models for these guys. There's a couple models I really want to buy. Oops, dropped it. But they're out of stock. So I'm waiting till GW refills some of the stores, and then I'll buy some. Hopefully I can get a hold of them, the ones I need. Genestealer Cult is not the most popular army. It's not the newest, fanciest craze of an army. So I have a better shot then to get it. But I'll jump on them and get them. Yeah. I hope all you out there in quarantine land are doing okay, staying healthy, staying safe. You know, I work. I still work from work. I don't work from home. My job is an essential service, so I just gotta give this paint pot a little shake. My job is an essential service, so I don't have the luxury of working from home, and that's okay. You kind of just deal with it. You just go to work, get your stuff done, come home. While you're at work, you try to stay as safe as possible. You know, I don't want to get sick by any means. I do not want to get sick. But it's tough, you know, and so I can definitely relate to all you other essential services out there, you know. But to be honest, I don't know. It creates that discussion of it's better to have a job right now and work or not work. If I didn't work, oh man, I'd probably be halfway done this army. Now I'm doing a timeline to myself. I'm challenging myself to be, Probably 4 months, 3 to 4 months, I'd say, with this army. I think 4 months is a more realistic timeline, seeing as eventually, when this situation is put behind us, which who knows how much longer this will be. I'm predicting at least in a few more weeks. But I will eventually want to start playing the game again. I'm definitely going to see if I can connect with my friend Dave or Stu and get some games in. A 40K after this is done. So I'll be not painting as much. Also, I will probably have the urge to go outside more. So I've just been really enjoying this quarantine time to somebody who paints miniatures isn't the worst situation, unless you run out of paint. Or models. But come on. That won't happen with us anytime soon. For me, it's going to happen this year, and I'm going to run out of 40K models to paint. I'm going to give myself, as I said, probably 4 months. I think to the end of summer would be a good, realistic goal for these guys. I'm starting off with all the troops, which is the majority of my army. Of course, is the troops. And once they're done, that represents a very large portion of my models I need to paint. And in fact, these guys are like half the troops models that I have. So, and I'm probably gonna have these done in the next week or so. The way that I'm painting them, I'd say so. I just want to prevent some of the bleeding. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to play it by ear. If I don't hit my goal, or if I crush my goal, awesome. And then I start the last army, just to paint the last remnants of my Grey Knights. And then I don't know what I'm going to do after that. Maybe buy a model a month, really slow down, paint it right, and just, it'd be very cool to, I do have some other things like Black Stone Fortress. I can paint those guys up. I don't have many more models after that, but it'd be cool to just buy a model that I want to play and paint with, and paint it up with no guilt. Just gotta clean up this one. Occasionally, what I do like about these paints is that they do take a second to dry. So, and they are quite, just wet brush. It's very easy to remove excess from certain areas and then reapply. If you find yourself there we go. All right, look at him. It'd be cool, as I said, to flesh out my army. By that point, I'm hoping that because they released that box set, the Space Wolves versus Orcs box set. And the only thing that really interests me in that box set is Gauskull Thraka. I don't really need any more knobs. Mega knobs, cool, maybe, but not really the knobs, not really the Space Wolves. And so I'm not going to buy it. And I didn't buy it. And then, of course, it was just before this situation happened, and they stopped selling models. So now it is... let me just see how much time we've been painting for. About 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Next model. Here we go. So I'm hoping that, 6 months down the road, 8 months down the road, they're going to eventually sell him on his own. And it's a really cool model. I like it a lot. But come on, I don't play Goths. I'm not buying. I've seen a few people try to buy the box set just for that one model and then try to flip the rest. But good luck, because that's what everyone wants to do, kind of thing. All the orc players who've been playing orcs for years, like me, have all the models they really need. I don't know, or maybe there's no such thing as having all the models they really need for orcs. But maybe what I'm saying is heresy against the orcs. But there are a couple more orc models I want to get in the future. Mostly Forge World. That's the other thing. I was thinking maybe after all these things are done, and if I have a little bit of YouTube money left over, I might treat myself to some Forge World. That'd be kind of cool. Some models I don't normally buy. And then the other thing is, I'm just going to play a lot. Look at that, another one done. At this rate, I should be able to get the pants done at least during this video. We'll see. Adam, you missed another spot. So as I said, all those people who are essential workers, I definitely understand what you're going through. And all the people that aren't working right now, I know it does suck as well. No situation's perfect. If you're not working, but getting paid full salary somehow to work from home and paint miniatures, that situation's awesome. You have the best situation. Yeah. But Canada, I believe the number of new cases per day is going down. The biggest problem is, of course, that retirement residences and long-term care facilities are getting really hit hard. It just gets in there and doesn't leave. Right? And then all of a sudden, this color, by the way, is just amazing. I really love it. Holy moly, look at this color. It's a beautiful color. And then it just gets there and wipes out a whole lot of people that are already immunocompromised and susceptible to it. Yeah. I'm hoping that in the long term, countries will learn from this. Because we've had outbreaks before, obviously, throughout history. I hope that countries learn from this. From what happened and how we can fix it for future cases, I really hope so. I'm just going to stretch for a second. Look at that, though. I'm coming along. This is great. This is great. couple stray brush hairs. Kind of annoying me at the moment. There we go. But I'm hoping we learn. We can and can't do, how we can improve situations. We look back and recognize the good and the bad.
All right, another guy's pants are done.
I don't know if you guys are receiving paint. Whatever.
We're painting together. That's all that matters. Let's keep painting.
For this guy's, for the heads on these, the next generation neophytes, they actually turned out pretty well. All I did was I thinned down. I love the medium as well. The contrast medium. It really does give you some nice control over the pigments. But I used some thinned down, what's that one? Magos Purple.
And then I... that was a little too much. Let's clean that up. There. But I used some thin down Magos Purple, and then the Gilliman flesh. Blended them a little bit, and then all I did was a quick dry brush of the light skin tone, Palid Witch flesh, and it really worked out well. I liked it. Cool. Look at that.
I miss sports. I miss hockey, baseball. That I'm really looking forward to seeing again one day, somehow, if and when it comes back. Kind of curious how they're going to bring back professional sports. Probably not in front of audiences. Which baseball, you really can't, other than, you can play in front of an empty audience. In fact, I watched several games where there are no fans in the stands with baseball, especially what team you're cheering for. But basketball and hockey, it'll be weird. Especially basketball, where it really thrives off the fans. All the fans yelling defense every time the opposing team has the ball. It'd be weird seeing important games like playoffs played with no fan response. Look at that. Cool. Oh man, these are they're really coming along. This is awesome. I tweaked my back, so my back starts really acting up. I forgot to take a Robaxacet before painting. My other one's kind of wearing off, so I might, if that affects it, I might call it a little early, but maybe we'll get these pants done first. I still have another 13 or 14 left. Besides that, not much is new. I'm going to walk out of this quarantine system, this situation, with a little bit different of a philosophy on life, and a lot more painted models. And then, yeah. That was a mistake, whatever. No, whatever. It'll still look okay. Most of the metallics will clean that up. Yeah, so next week, we'll see. My next painting with Jay, I'll probably be painting some neophytes. Oh, sorry, acolytes, sorry. If I don't have these done, I'll be painting these. But I'm really hoping a week from now, because I've only been working on these for a few days now. It's only May. I should have filmed a May the 4th episode. But I was busy. Today, yeah, we're into May. We're into May. And I did finish my AdMech with a day to spare. And I just relaxed for a day because I knew that I had to assemble all these guys and start painting them. I like this color. Look at him. Yeah, so I'm hoping by next week these will all be done. I am also going to be basing them. Again, I'm trying out the easier way of creating our army. And so for the basing scheme for them, I'm using the textured paints. I'm going to try doing a whole army with those too, but that's going to be expensive, so I better buy some more. I realized kind of after I started painting, like, oh man, I did not have the right amount of texture paint. Yeah. Cool. Got another one done. Time to wash off my brush. My water is like a crystal blue water. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so I want to paint them, the bases too, just a simple basing scheme as well. Good. Let's put him down. How much time do we have? I'm painting for about 40 minutes. If I can get one whole color done in the 40 minutes, that's a win. Paint for another hour later, get the other colors done. The black is pretty easy because it's pretty much whole areas are just black. So the boots, for example, the gloves, they're all black. So I will just be able to kind of whip through that. Yeah. I'm hoping that this situation is behind us soon. I really am. I miss people. What I miss the most? Fast food. I've not eaten much fast food. I've actually been eating just more at home, obviously, and saving a little bit of money that way. Spending a lot more on groceries, but it's still cheaper in the end. I miss fast food. I've been avoiding fast food because, just don't want to add any more variables into my life right now. So fast food has been thrown out the window. And I haven't eaten much fast food. I think I've only eaten one slice of pizza in about 2 months for fast food. It's not bad. It's not bad, you know. What else do I miss? I miss hanging out with, seeing my friends. Yeah. So I miss being able to go outside. I miss baseball, sports. What do you miss? Leave comments in the comment section down below. What are the things you miss the most about the old way of life? I'm not going to use the term the new norm, because I know it's been said so many times lately. The new norm, the new norm, the new norm, the new norm. This could be the new norm, the new norm, the new norm. 10 left. The new norm. I do feel that being a miniature painter, someone who's kind of introverted, has really prepared me for this. I go, oh, I bet I could paint like, since this quarantine started, I finished up my AdMech, but I got a lot done. It easily knocked a month off my painting time frame. And all I can do is paint, play. Let's keep going. Let's make this I make the best out of the opportunity. And so that way, when I can play, I'm gonna have a bunch of new models. The first time I play against Dave, I don't know. Will I be running AdMech? Will I be running Genestealer Cult? Grey Knights? I still haven't tried the new Grey Knights. Not new, you know what I mean, the updated Grey Knights. Will I be playing in 8th edition? Will I be playing 9th edition? Next time I play. I was expecting, frankly, GW. Now I don't know if GW's release schedule. It has to have been offset by this whole situation, right? It has to be, because they wanted that most recent book that's going to be released with the AdMech. That was supposed to be released probably a month ago, I'm guessing. I don't know the release schedule, obviously, but it just seemed like they were hyping it for a while ago. And let me just clean up my brush. But I don't know. But I was expecting them to release the new edition, any month. I figured it'd be June, roughly. It's usually summer, June or July. But it's June next month. We're in May. So, will GW be pushing back the release of the next edition? Will it be the big new box set that everyone will have to buy? We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I'm very curious of how this will affect the release schedule. Good. All right, I have 8 left. How long have we been painting for? 45 minutes, roughly. Cool. Look at this. The whole color will be done by the end of this video. Or else I'm not leaving. The bell doesn't dismiss me. The paint dismisses me. Yeah. I'm liking these paints. This is fun. It's easy. I do feel like it tends. I'm not really a stressful painter. Right? I paint. I love doing it. I love painting. But I find that these are just kind of easy. You just turn off your brain and paint. Almost paint by numbers. It's fun. Right? You're slowly bringing this model to life, and look at that. Like it just, to me, it looks great. These models have so much character. Oh, and by the way, these, after putting together AdMech, genestealer cult, the models go together so easily. AdMech's a bunch of like tons of thin pieces that snap off so easily. These guys go together so well. By far the easiest, because there's no real modification you can do on them. They're all set to a certain pose, but they go together like a start collecting set. Not like one of the starter boxes, for the game. They go like almost like snap fit. They go together so well. Love them. Yeah. Right, I have 7 more. Let me just relax for a second here. My back is starting to tweak. Oh, that sucks. So, let's take up my paint again. Yeah, I've seen the new rules, because through the Warhammer community, they've started to release a bit of the new rules on the new guys for AdMech. They're not amazing. I'm hoping that there's something in there that we're going to see. The models are still amazing, so I probably still buy them anyway. I want to buy 2 of each one. 2 of the winged guys, 2 of the horse guys. I don't think I'm going to buy any of the flyers yet. As I said, flyers are just, I don't usually use a lot of flyers. Maybe I don't know. I should be saving money right now. But of course, I am still working. But I see the home stretch, and maybe I'm just subliminally delaying it. The light at the end of the tunnel, the point this year. It's going to happen this year. If I keep painting the way I'm painting, this is the year. 2020 is the year that Jay is going to hit that theoretical goal. All the models that I want to have painted for my 40K will be painted. All of them. All my armies, everything painted and playable. That is a really cool goal that I know we all strive for, and I've been wanting to hit it for a long time. But then of course we all get in our own way. We buy the fanciest new thing or the fanciest new army, and we want to play everything, and we prevent it. And so I am really happy and excited to not see boxes upon boxes upon boxes of models. And I'm already, like the amount of new boxes in my workshop anyway is slim. Like it's not much anyway. Most of my shelf space are now just painted models. They're all just, painted. Well, not all, but mostly. I now have a shelf full, a whole shelf dedicated to my AdMech army. That, a few months ago was in a bunch of boxes. And it feels really good. It feels so good. And so I am I'm going to kind of just love it. That's a little harder of an area to reach. Cool. I only made one of these guys. I made him by accident, and I was like, you know what? Let's play him. I don't really want my troops to have the heavy weapons, because I think the purpose with these guys is more of just stay on an objective, fire at stuff, be cheap. Be cheap, bantha fodder. Star Wars Day reference. But yeah, I just don't want to add a lot of extenuate points to this squad. You know, they're only base 5 points a model, so they're pretty cheap. Not the most survivable, but not terribly. You know? They're not terribly. They don't get anywhere near as a number of attacks as orcs, but they have a bit of firepower. So, man, we're in the home stretch of this edition. This edition I definitely played the least out of any edition that I've been playing in the game. For a few reasons. I've been busy. I played a bunch of games. Like, I've not played games. But I really want to get more in. But not until this is behind us. I know there are some people in my gaming groups that I'm not going to mention any names, but they're playing. They're having fun. They're playing, and I don't think that's the best idea right now. So I'm going to avoid it. That's all. I'm going to avoid it. I'm not going to judge them. Judging. No, I'm kidding. I'm just going to not do it. But I want to get some games in. I also need to assemble a large amount of genestealer cult art models, I guess. After this, I will hopefully have another 10 more Acolyte Warriors. No, sorry, Neophytes that I need to paint. I will have another 15 Acolytes. So 10 more Neophytes. 15 more Acolytes. Well, the other ones too. I have to finish up the ones I was doing. I was probably painting with Jay a long time ago, last year, when I was just fooling around with the paints. But I'm going to clean them up, get them all done too. Let me see if I have the color scheme. I think I have one of the models around here. My Acolytes. There we go. Look at that. Let me wash the brush off. I think I have my... This guy's pretty close to being done. This is an Acolyte that I worked on a while ago. So this is really going to be my Acolyte. Is that in focus? Yeah. This is my Acolyte. So I like him. I'm going to paint that bronze. I don't like the yellow. It didn't work. And I'm going to go with actual metallic for the weapons. It just makes it look so much better. But this is basically the color scheme I'm going to use. It's not a complex color. And then I'm going to paint this blue as well. The little skinheads parts. Not skinhead, whatever. You know, sorry, this part. The ridge. Yeah, so this is pretty much done. I'm liking it. So this is what I'm going to do with my other Acolytes. And then the basing, cool. This is what I want to do with my other Acolytes. So next, after these Neophytes are done, I'm going to paint my Acolytes. And that alone will get me plenty of troops choices for my games. And then I have one squad of Brood Brothers, which should take me a week or two. For them, I don't actually have the contrast paints. And I don't think I'm going to buy them for one squad. You know, there are a couple of colors like the camo yellow, or sorry, the camo green. It's just not a color I would use normally for my other models. So I don't think I'm going to pick up those paints. I'll probably paint them using just normal GW paints and get those all done. And yeah, they won't take me very long either. They're just 10 guys, so that's not too bad. Cool. I'm on my last one. And then I'll probably call after this. My back is really, my neck are starting to tweak a little bit. I'm going to go take some more Baxaset and relax for a little bit, and then probably come back and do the next color, the black. As I said, these are not going to be unpainted that much longer. I would be very shocked. I could be wrong. For all I know, maybe. Totally. I pulled an Adam and I missed a big spot on this guy. I don't see myself be working on these next week. Unless I get my other ones in the mail, then maybe the last 10, I'll be working on those. But these 40 should be done well before next week's painting with Jay. That's cool. That's very, very cool, you know? So now I have 40, so after this week I'll have 40 painted acolytes, so 4 squads of troops for my army. I'd really like to be able to run a brigade. It's a fun indication of an army. There we go. Last one's done. All right, so if I zoom out a little bit, zoom out just slightly. Look at this. This is what I've been working on. This painting with Jay. As you can see, a bunch of acolyte warriors, or neophyte warriors, neophytes. I still have plenty of this green. Awesome. And I'm going to keep working on them. Up next is Black Templar. And after that, maybe a little bit of reds, and then silver. Yeah. So let's end now. So that concludes another Painting with Jay. I really hope you got a lot of stuff done, and you're making the best of your quarantine situation as well. As I mentioned, I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and I really hope you are out there in internet land seeing the same, because it's a cool feeling. It's a really cool feeling, especially in these not so fun times. It's nice having some positivity, and I'm really excited to get these acolytes done. Maybe I will be working on them next week. We'll see. You know, the basing will take a little bit of time, but once they're done, and then I'll just build the next squad and painting with Jay with them, right? And I'm doing all. I decided I'm doing all my similar models at the same time. So I'm painting all my Neo, other than is it the remaining order, but whatever, I'll get them done after this. That'll take me a little bit of time. But I want to paint all my acolytes at the same time. I want to paint all my Brood Brothers at the same time. I want to paint all my bikers at the same time. And that way I just get them all done, blast through them, get them done with efficiency, and yeah, it'd be cool. Plus it saves time on building and you know, get them all done. It'd be good. But yeah, so stay tuned for more Painting with Jays. As always, this video is brought to you by my Patreon campaign. Link in the description below if you want to help support my videos. It's thanks to them that I can, you know, set aside a little bit of time each week and film these and have some fun. So, huge thank you to my Patreon subscribers, and a huge thank you to you for painting along with me. Stay tuned for more videos. Until next time, this is Jay saying happy painting with me.